All right, we should be streaming. Test, 1, 2, 3. Audio test. Somebody else say something?
La cucaracha, la cucaracha.
Yep.
Slamming up the wall.
Okay, that means we're in. Let's
Nice.
do it.
Oh, wow. That's what has to be done for us to get in every night now, is Matthew has to heartily sing the La Cucaracha song.
That's right. Let's see. So let's get 2 seconds of silence or so, and I'll do the intro. That'll just make it easier for me to crop when we're doing it. This is The Dying of the Light, Season 3 of the Starfall Collective. The Starfall Collective is a collaborative storytelling group using the Dungeons & Dragons game system as a vehicle for creating rich and compelling stories in a fictional world that we've been developing together for a while. You can find out more about the collective, as well as the stories we're telling, at thestarfallcollective.com. We're back with another episode. Let's find out who's in this episode. I am Sir Robert Burbridge. I am a father and entrepreneur and the host of this season's story. With me tonight are a few friends playing the characters in this drama. Please introduce yourself if you would like. Say something about yourself and a brief description of the character you're playing. Then I'll describe where we left off, which was right in the middle of some heated action last time. And we will carry on, my wayward sons. Why don't we start this time with Aaron Joy?
I'm Erin Joy. I play Neno, and she's grandmotherly, and she's short, and she likes these people, and is looking out for the youngest among them.
Orden. Good. Pat, you want to go next?
Sure. My name is Patrick. I am a web developer in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I am playing the character Toll, who is a half-orc, and he is pretty new to the party, so he's excited to get into it with some combat.
Good. And Belvari?
Hey, I'm Belvari, and I am a nondescript humanoid druid.
And Josh?
Hey, my name is Matthew McConaughey. I'm just here picking up some shirts that Mr. Burbridge cleaned up. Just want to say she's a dear friend, and we were at a party together, and she just hooked me up. And just want to give her a shout out. She has 4 great kids, just amazing kids. What a dynamite lady. I just want to say, Mrs. B, you're awesome. All right, you just say cool.
And Matt?
Hi, my name is Matthew Talamini. I'm a writer and web developer based in Providence, Rhode Island. You can find my stuff at MatthewTalamini.com. That's Matthew, TALAMINI.com. I play the shirtless wizard Diamondback. Think of Chris Angel, but scrawnier.
And finally, but not filthily, Jared.
My name is Jared. I'm playing Yoshka. He's a human bard.
Okay, and I accidentally forgot. Actually, we have one more because my order got off. Jacob, why don't you go next?
Hi, I am Jacob Burbridge. I was forgot by my own father just then.
Forgot and begot.
Yes, of course.
Forgotten before begotten. All right.
Anyway.
Lived, laughed, forgot, begot. All of the few. And I will be playing Splint, who has recently escaped.
That's right.
Something he doesn't know yet, or does he?
And just as a reminder for our listening audience, Splint and Toll both were slaves who escaped from the slave town that they were just in. The party was just in. They've joined very recently and are figuring out their place still. Splint had spent a significant amount of time digging some tunnels through which the party had been able to escape when pursued by the Iron Bell, and Toll jumped in at the last minute and subverted the interests of his captors, obscuring the region with a cloud of smoke and jumping in to make good his escape with this party. So last episode, we ended with this false night filling the land. It's literally filling. It has been getting deeper and deeper, this mist, this darkness. It is now over the heads of the party, and somewhere towards the torso of a humanoid, of a full-sized humanoid. Around the torso and below, it is pitch black, normal, like very dark darkness. Above that, for a number of feet, maybe 15, 20 feet, is a dim darkness. And they can tell that far above, it would be daytime if they could see. You can imagine, if you'd like, what it looks like to be swimming in a deep lake and looking up and seeing the daylight above you, though the water that you're in is in varying degrees of darkness. That's their experience. However, they're walking through. This mist that they're in does not cause any issues with their respiration. It doesn't have any odor. It is a magical mist. And so one of the things that it does is it obscures the light of this world when the mist is thick. And also, it increases some of the magical effects that are happening. Mm. So, when last we met, the party had woken up after spending several watches in a rundown ruin, a stone ruin that they had found, and making their way. They're trying as quickly as they can to get to Miradau, which is where the character that the leader of that town, which Diamondback refers to as the Great Wizard, I think it was, Garriott, who's the leader of that town, although he has an unassuming disposition. Garriott has told them they are welcome to come back there during the false night if they can get there before the false night and they die. And also if they can rescue this Orden character, this little boy. They've done so. They're on their way. Their best guess is they are 6 or so hours from Miradau. Unfortunately for them, they have noticed that there is a significant increase in the number of creatures who are out and about. Strange little creatures seeming to be made of grass or brush. There are taller ones now running through.
With aloe vera blood.
With, in some of the cases, gelatinous blood. The consistency of something like aloe vera, like a succulent, has been cut open. Some of the taller ones have that. They also happened to encounter a set of thorny, bristling, bigger creatures. And we stopped the last episode right after the first round of combat with these creatures. If you'll give me just a moment, sorry, players and listening audience, I have to pull that encounter up. My computer restarted a second ago. It'll take me just a moment. While we... Go ahead. Somebody's going to say something?
No, I just said, huh.
Yeah. While we do that, and when I say my computer, I mean the other one that I'm using for my watching stuff. I stream off of one and I do the D&D stuff off the other. So while we are getting into that, you guys will remember that Toll has run up and is participating in the damage. He's trying to do his share of the work. Gulp has taken a significant amount of damage because Diamondback told him, protect us, and the zombie form of Gulp, who is enchanted by Diamondback, interpreted that to mean defeat our foes, which makes sense for the kind of courageous, bravado-filled character that Gulp has been.
Does it though?
But he has taken quite a bit of damage from that. Yoshka is also standing firm and attacking, and Neno and Orden, mounted atop Gulp, have been avoiding damage, but also considering the possibility of being able to heal or mend Gulp's animate form. Sorry?
Inanimate.
You know, it's kind of halfway between, because
It's animate.
You're animated.
Okay.
he is moving around, but he doesn't have an animus in the way we mean it per se. So you're right, kind of.
I'll halfway.
No, he does. It's just my
concede that you're
magic.
kind of right about me being kind of
Yeah,
right.
fair enough. I'll take Matt's statement that the animating principle, which previously had been, let's call it the soul of the orc, is now instead the magic of the necrodancer.
Indeed, friendship, the power of friendship.
That is what it is.
Gulp is literally running on the power of friendship right now.
Absolutely. It's definitely the power of friendship.
Okay, so you should have your dice out and your character sheets up. so that we can jump into this encounter that we are in the middle of. You also, please let me know if any of you have taken damage and you have forgotten how much damage you've taken. Like if maybe your D&D Beyond didn't save, I can tell you that. I believe I can tell you that.
I might be in that boat, actually, because I thought I had taken damage, and it says my hit points are full.
Yeah, I'm in that boat as well, because I'm going to have to find the same piece of paper that I was using for an ad
I think you
hoc.
said you were down to 11. No, you held up a sign. It was either 11 or 4. I remember those two numbers.
Yeah.
Let's go with 4, because here we are. And
I
No,
have
Toll,
he had
four
barely
left.
any hit points left.
Toll,
I
I
have
think
4
you had
left.
Somebody
taken
can-
2 damage, Toll.
Some of the many
Actually, what I
and
thought.
plutiferous number of people watching on the stream could go and quickly watch the YouTube version of last week's stream and then tell us the sign that Josh held up like right towards the end. We have the best followers.
We do. We have the best follower.
Wait. They were in the plural now? Somebody should have told me if we doubled our viewership.
It's just the
Currently,
one guy, but he's plural.
Shout out to Anglefur and Hasu312.
Nice.
Good job,
Shout out.
team.
You rock.
Say something in the chat, and I'll make my character say it.
Okay.
What?
So we are now
Your zombie
at
can't talk.
Gulp's turn. You'll remember that Gulp was confronted directly by several of these creatures. They ran and attacked him. One of them, Toll, killed. I think it was Toll who killed him. He had been weakened already, and he got a severe blow to him. I'll cut that in post if it's not when I check. But one of the creatures in front of Gulp is direly wounded. He's in very bad shape. This sort of strange vegetable pygmy creature that you can see in the dim light that is reaching you from Diamondback's shoulders ablaze. You can see that this strange little vegetable creature, like these others around you, is in not very good shape. Go. What would you like to do? And Diamondback, you're next.
Gold still has it in him to attack, so he was told to protect us. So whatever the biggest one is that's in front of him, he's just going to swing at it. He's got his hammer. So, all right. Shoot. Sorry, give me just 1 sec.
Yep.
I apologize for the delay. I normally have my character up, but this time I'm playing off of a zombie monster plate. So, page. Here we go. Boy, if this pause were any more pregnant, it'd have a baby. All right, here we go.
You'll be less pregnant.
Nuts. That is how that works, isn't it? All right. So that's a
You still have
6
a baby
plus
before the pregnancy ends.
1, 7.
It does not hit. So Gulp has
Shocker.
this hammer, and he swings heftily at the two creatures in the dim light before him. However, he does not manage to hit the one creature that is scrambling around. It's making, as several of them are, this throaty sort of clicking, scratching, like twigs and branches rubbing hard against each other. It seems to be its like means of vocalization. And Gulp swings this hammer down, and it lands with a crunching thud. Unfortunately, not on his intended target, but on the dead one at its feet, doing no damage. Diamondback is behind Yoshka on the road. Right. He has been taking cover behind the enormous mass of Yoshka's leadership and bravery. And what would you like to do? Diamondback. After you will come one of the bad guys, and then Splint and Toll will be next.
So, tell me, I want to feel like I understand the tactical situation. There
Absolutely.
are two enemies directly in front of Gulp. How many other enemies are there?
So here's what you've seen. Y'all are on a road, and if you imagine that Yoshka is, let's say, the center of the action. He was at the front of the party. and he's, at the forefront of your. The rest of you are behind him, more or less, and the bad guys are in front, approximately. So here's what you see. About 20 feet in front of Yoshka is Gulp with Neno and Orden riding on his pack.
Right.
In front of Gulp and attacking him are two of these creatures. One, however, has just been killed. The other dodged just now Gulp's attack. So there are two creatures, one dead, one gravely wounded, in front of Gulp. Further back, closer to you now. Sorry, actually, hold on. Yeah, closer to you now, because several of the creatures ran past Gulp and his foes to come to the party. You have Yoshka standing, and in front of him are one of the thorny sort of like brambles with lots of thorn creatures, and one of the more succulent style plant creatures. They're standing in front of Yoshka. Halfway between Yoshka and Gulp, one of the sort of succulent creatures that is sort of bigger and seems to be more authoritative is standing in the center. He ran towards, but instead of coming to attack, he just ran to that spot approximately in the center of the action. You'll remember that Belvari, at the beginning of the combat, turned into a Belvari. It was a what? Do you remember?
Saber-toothed tiger, I believe.
Belvari, who was bringing up the rear at the time, turned into a saber-toothed tiger and leapt forward to just rip a chunk out of this vegetable pygmy creature.
The biggest one.
The biggest one, the one that was in the center. That's right. That's the one he aimed for. Toll also ran forward. Now Toll has come up near Gulp, so he's up near Gulp and dealt the death blow to the creature that is in front of Gulp, dead. Does that make sense? So what you've got there is a total of...
I'm sorry. I'm afraid my ability to conceptualize space is not sufficient. Could you please say if the road is going from left to right? Can you just tell me from left to right?
Yes, absolutely.
Can we call the bad guys like succulent ones and thorny ones if there are two kinds?
Absolutely.
And
so
just give them short names.
The road is going north-south.
Okay.
You are going south.
Okay.
All right. Here's what you have in order, starting from the farthest south, your destination, and going backwards up to the north. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You've got first one dead thorny guy in front. One dead thorny guy. Right in front of him, right next to him, kind of, is one of the succulents.
Okay.
And Gulp is standing there, just like 5 feet north of them, with 1 foot north of him, Neno and Orden on his back.
Got it.
Okay. Toll is standing right behind them. So this little group is 2 bad guys, one of them's dead, with Gulp and Toll and Neno and Orden. That's that little cluster. About 15 feet past them to the north. Now we're traveling further north. Right in the center, you've got the biggest, meanest kind of looking one. He's another succulent style, but he does seem to be like thick and large and purposeful in what he's doing. And he is squaring off with saber-toothed Belvari. Good?
Yes.
15 feet further, approximately, you've got Yoshka, who has 2 of these creatures in front of him as well, just like with Gulp. Yoshka has 2 of these creatures. They are both, one's the thorny kind and one's the succulent kind. And then right behind Yoshka is Diamondback, who's kind of taking shelter behind, cover behind Yoshka, and right behind him is the last one of your party is Splint. Now, at the very end of the last thing, something else happened, which is not far to the south, but like 60, 80 feet to the south was one final thorny guy who has run kind of around off the side of the road and is running southward. He's a little bit distant, 10 or 15 feet west, 10 or 15 feet east of the saber-toothed tiger and the big guy. But he's not really engaged there. He's off to the side.
Okay.
Good?
Yes. So Diamondback would have to run past 3 animated plants to get to where Gulp is.
If you were to run on the road.
If I was to run on the road.
Oh, sorry. If you're to run just straight on the road, yes, you'd run by 3. If you run out and to the east and try to make a loop around, you'll run by the one guy who's far away. If you run kind of out and to the west, you'll miss everybody, but I don't know that you have enough movement to get.
Well, I'll be running through the trees, and that's probably different. Probably costs more terrain-wise.
That's right, and you may not be able to get there.
Okay, so I'm going to. I'm going to take a gamble, and I'm going to use my my bonus action to mentally command Gulp that on his next turn he should take the disengage action and go backwards to join up with Belvari, who's a beast.
Now, for our listening audience, Diamondback can give this mental command to Gulp by virtue of the magic that he is using as a necromancer to animate Gulp into this zombie form. And the disengage action is a way of retreating from a combat engagement without taking an opportunity attack. Okay, that's your bonus action.
What else? I want Gulp to retreat and to get behind Belvari, who's big and strong and tough right now.
Yeah.
Particularly because I don't want Orden and
Neno
to, get knocked off the top of him and or whatever. And then I'm going to just go ahead and the one that is menacing me and Yoshka, I'm gonna give it a nice chill touch.
Okay.
So.
What happened?
Ice, baby.
So that's only going to be a 10 to hit.
And sorry, you're doing the one who is menacing you. One of the ones who's menacing you and Yoshka.
Yes.
Okay. Do you care? They're both in. One of them is hurt. The thorny one in front of Yoshka is somewhat hurt.
I would go after the one that's hurt.
More, the one that's hurt more.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that I miss, right? Because it's a 10 to hit.
10 to hit. That is a miss. So Diamondback crushes this magic in his hand, and the chill of the grave comes up. But amidst all of the chaos of these strange little scurrying creatures and the darkness and the relatively bright light being cast by Diamondback as his shoulders are ablaze, the forces of the grave do not land properly on this strange creature.
And then I say, as an aside, to Yoshka, I say, I told you about dryads. I told you they were not to be trusted.
And, okay, now the creature, the succulent in front of Gulp, the sort of succulent-y creature in front of Gulp, sees that Gulp is, attacking him heavily. He makes an attack. He wants to strike back at you, Gulp. You've just swung your massive hammer at him, and though you missed, nonetheless, he thinks you may have intended him harm. And so, let me see here.
How very mammalian of him.
That's right. And he got a 20. Does that hit?
You know, it actually, believe it or not, it does hit me in my zombie form.
Okay.
So weak.
I choose not to.
And he does 5 plus 2, 7 damage.
And Gulp is down. Well, no. Gulp has this ability.
Yes.
Gulp has
As
this
a
ability.
zombie.
Go ahead. As a zombie, if the damage reduces the zombie to 0 hit points, it must make a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 5 plus the damage taken, unless the damage is radiant or from a critical hit. So
The damage
you
taken
did
was
7
7.
damage, so
your
the DC is 12.
Yep.
And my modifier for that is a +3. All right, so I've got to get a 9 on a D20 roll.
Let's do it.
The odds are in your
Josh,
favor.
None of our followers.
Son of a
you actually had
biscuit
11
eater.
hit points.
Goodness gracious. I failed to achieve even the minimal threshold of success.
So,
And therefore
It's like
am now
another
down to
Josh
0
character
hit
has died.
points.
so here's what happens. This creature rakes its claws out at Gulp, and it's short. The creature is. It's probably its height is up to Gulp's waist, so it just rakes its claws and slices through both of Gulp's, the front of his knees. The damage is staggering to Gulp, though he may not know it as a zombie, but he, with that particular damage, collapses to his knees and then leans back because of all the weight of the pack he's carrying, and Neno and Orden on him, and he's got this big. You remember he's got this thing holding his arms, and or did you release that, Matt?
No, he's not being held by
Okay.
the arms yet.
So he just kind of collapses to his knees and leans back, but the pack prevents him from collapsing backwards. So he's sitting on his knees, leaned backwards about at a 45-degree angle, and just
There's
inert.
a little tangled mess of yarn coming out of his mouth.
That's right. So Gulp, you're now sitting there. Neno and Orden, you are now, instead of the 7-ish feet that you were off the ground when you were doing that, you're now at about 4 feet off the ground because he's sunk to his knees, kind of collapsed over and leaning. So you're about 4 feet off the ground. It is a jumpable distance for you, but it is also a jumpable distance for your dear friends, the foes. So it is now Splint's turn. Why don't you go? Toll, you will be next. And then Yoshka. Splint? Be patient with Jacob. We are having kid-related technical difficulties. They have lost some things. So he's switching USBs to make microphones and keyboards work alternately.
Okay, I think I'm here.
Delicious.
Right. I may have missed what you said. I was typing some stuff into stuffs.
Good. It's your turn.
All right. I actually prepared, so it won't take long. I'm going to cast Firebolt at the one that had killed Diamondback's monster, that
Gulp.
is. Gulp.
Okay.
Zulb.
Cast
Thank
it.
you.
Whichever one.
What you got?
All right.
Nobody's ever accurate about that. It's Diamondback's monster, right?
Diamondback's
Not Diamondback.
Hey, in 100 years, everybody's gonna just call you Diamondback.
Sorry.
18.
An 18 does hit. So
Nice.
how much damage do you do?
I will check. It's 1d12, I think. No, 1d10. So
Okay. Splint shows up into the combat with a force here. He rolls 5 damage. So Splint has his pouch, reaches in, and casts a firebolt, which from Splint's position in the very back of the party right now, it weaves its way. It seems to be acutely driven with fine aim, and man, it just goes right between several of the enemies. If you were watching with a modern movie camera, you would see sort of matrix-style freeze between this saber-toothed tiger and this pygmy, and it just goes right between them as it rotates through and winds its way through. Does not hit either Orden or Neno, but does splatter a flame thoroughly against the, let's call it, clicking throat of this creature that has downed Gulp, causing that throat to burst into flame for a moment and burn with embers. The creature, taking that damage, collapses into a smoldering heap. It is no more. Splint has dealt a death blow there. What's that?
I did it.
That's right. And Toll, it is now your turn. You are, remember, Toll, you are standing right behind Gulp, who has just collapsed. Neno and Orden are now at about eye level with you, and you're a half orc, right? And the two creatures in front of you are dead. Immediately behind you are saber-toothed tiger Belvari and the larger one fighting. I say immediately, I mean about 10 feet, 15 feet.
Yeah. So can I hold both of Orden and Neno on my shoulder? I mean, you said I was eye level with them. I thought I was taller than they were.
Oh yeah, well they're still on Gulp's shoulders. He has just collapsed
Gulp
down.
Still standing despite?
No, he went to his knees and fell back, but the pack is propping him up, and so they're about 4-ish feet off the ground.
Okay,
and you're like 6 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're okay for now, so I won't try to pick them up. What I will do is I will cast Acid Arrow at the creature that is engaged in combat with Belvari.
With Belvari, okay. Let's do it.
All right, so that's I had it pulled up. Hold on. Right, range spell attack. How do I do that on D&D Beyond?
So you have your character sheet?
Yeah.
You just need to roll a d20, but if you click on your spells section, you have spell attack at the top. It says on yours plus whatever it says.
Gotcha. And I would add that to it?
Yeah, that's your spell attack modifier.
All right.
Better living through science.
It's a 21.
That is also a hit.
All right, so that's 44 of acid damage immediately. Ooh. And I know, right? And 2d4 acid damage at the end of its next turn.
I don't think
okay.
Another...
Toll, Toll, seeming to be shrewd, he's come in and done some significant damage quickly. This character, and I'm guessing that Yoshka may be aware, may be watching, but this new addition to the group crushes these components, and a swirling, sort of almost burbling mist comes out and forms into an arrow of acid that just strikes directly at him. How much damage did you do?
I did 7. That was not great.
That's okay. And at the beginning of this creature's next turn, it'll also take damage?
It will take another 2d4.
Okay. Why don't you roll that for me now, and it'll make it easier for me to I'll narrate it.
Oh, 4.
I love that 7 damage after the 2 enormous blows. It's like watching Bruce Lee just double kick somebody and then just give him one more pop in the face. That's so great.
I got 6 for the second one, so that was a little better.
Okay, great. So this acid, reaches through this creature is not aware of this. He's focused on this saber-tooth tiger in front of him, but he in an instant becomes aware of a threat nearby. He was at around half of his health, but he's gravely wounded now. He's a third of his health, say, and is this creature now facing this strange tiger and was focusing on it is now engulfed with a sort of burbling acid, and it has made him even more animated than he was. Toll just went. The creature, the sort of thorny, spiky creature in front of Yoshka is drawn in this strange darkness to the only light source that it sees. It is behind... The light source is behind Yoshka. But what it does is it runs next to Yoshka, a couple of feet, and slashes out at this let's call it alien flaming meat that it sees. Yoshka,
Accurate.
you will, Yoshka, get an attack of opportunity on this creature. As it does, it is in this dim darkness. It is drawn to the light. So first, I'm going to roll the creature's attack on Diamondback. Let's see. And actually, it has a... Oh, okay, sorry. I have to do its special ability. At the start of its turn... Nobody's grappling it. It's thorny. Okay, Diamondback.
Yeah.
I just rolled it on D&D Beyond. I meant to roll it here. Does a 10 hit you?
A 10 does not hit me.
It reaches back with its long, scrawny, let's call them twig branchy arm things, and tries to grab Diamondback and scratch him with it, but he is unable to. Yoshka, would you like to take this attack of opportunity? It's a freebie. You might be muted. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I do. I rolled a 1, so I think Yoshka got a little overexcited at the opportunity and swung either a little too soon or a little too late after that, because I know you like us to roll a second time. I rolled a 12 for whatever that means for that.
Great. And just a reminder for our listening audience and for our players who may not know, if he had rolled a 1 the second time, it would have been a severe critical failure. If he'd rolled a 20, he would have failed forward. With a 12, he just failed significantly. He whiffed it. So Yoshka, the creature comes beside you. You were expecting it to be more attacking you because you two are engaged. You're caught off guard by the fact that it reaches around you to try to, almost as if it's trying to miss you. You don't manage to land a blow, but neither does it. You're in a sort of dance of death with it. The creature now, the big, hefty, hardy one, in front of the saber-toothed tiger, howls once again, taking even more damage from the acid that is burning away at its flesh. It is in terrible shape, but one of the things that it will do is what is it going to do? Sorry. It is going to claw attack at the saber-toothed tiger near it. Belvari.
That's me.
I'm going to do one. I'm going to roll it with... I like the sound of the dice, so I'm going to do that. But does a 7 hit you?
It probably does not. I do need to look up. Sorry, I don't have saber-toothed tiger.
Okay. And while you do that, because this creature actually has dual attack, it's able to strike with both of its claws at once. I'm going to roll the other one. And it is a 7 again. Interesting. Okay.
I believe that it does not hit. Yeah. I have an armor class of 12.
Okay. It is in terrible shape. It strikes out at you, desperately trying to, not to save itself, but to destroy you, and seems to fail to do so this turn. Now, the other creature who is standing in front of Yoshka, this one's the more succulent kind. It also is drawn to the only light source around, and it is going to try to make an attack. Basically, it is an exact replay of the previous one. This guy Good. Okay. He is going to attack Diamondback with a critical failure, with a 1. Let's see if he... And a 13, so he just fails. He reaches out for Diamondback, but makes a total fool of himself, slams into the thorny creature, and gets a little bit stuck on him. He takes 1 damage from slamming into his friend, who is right there. It is now Belvari's turn, and then it'll be Neno.
Diamondback tries to make it look like it was a cool ninja move that he did that made him miss.
That's right. I forgot. Yoshka, you also get an opportunity attack on this guy if you want.
Okay. I try to calm down.
Real quick, do you get multiple opportunity attacks?
Just one per your turn.
It takes your reaction.
It
right?
takes your reaction, yeah.
Then never mind. You don't get an opportunity attack this time. Sorry. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Belvari and then Neno.
Gee, thanks, Dwight. Thanks for being the teacher's pet and bringing that to the teacher's attention.
I'm
Really
hoping to
appreciate
get
that
some
one. It's a great call you got there,
inspiration from that,
Dwight.
you know. But so there's a guy right in front of me.
There is a guy. He's the big ugly guy who you've been fighting.
Gotcha.
And
He
who's
is
now
roiling
super
in
acidy,
acid
right?
now. Sorry? Aaron Joy?
I was just saying it. Who is now super boily acidy, right?
That's right.
I will reach out with my claw attack to hit him.
Do it. Reach out and touch someone.
Is this plus 6, so 21 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay, and it does 2d6 plus 5. 1, 2. That is 14 damage.
Belvari, you in your tiger form, you know yourself as a saber-toothed tiger, but to this thick, large succulent, you feel like you are a saber-clawed tiger. These claws rake through its flesh with a explosive bubble of this would-be aloe vera, this aloe vera wannabe that bursts out as the creature deconstitutes before you. It's a puddle of chunks and blubber down on the floor on the road here. It melts into the darkness, and you are unaware of it anymore. But you can tell that it has died. Neno, the creatures in front of Gulp are both dead. Toll has come to your aid, taking care of things here, as well as an unexpected firebolt from the back. What would you like to do? You've got Orden and are up on Gulp's recently unanimated shoulders.
Is the one that was reaching for Diamondback's light, is he still a threat? Because if so, I'm going to...
Both of them are, but they're about 30-ish feet away from you, and you'll have to run... Actually, you'll have to run by Belvari, but you will no longer have to run by the veggie pygmy creature that he was fighting. So you can make it there.
Did Gulp not obey Diamondback's instruction to come closer to the gang?
No, he
wasn't able to.
Too fast. Okay.
He sort of died-ish.
Okay, then, yeah, I would hop off of Gulp and sprint toward the threat and cast Firebolt at
One of
the
them.
scratchy one that was trying to get Diamondback.
Okay, and that sounds great. No problem. Would Neno have said anything or had any presence of mind or used the time to tell Orden anything?
No.
Okay, so she just jumps down. Orden is something like hugging to Gulp's neck still. He doesn't know what else to do in this dark state. But Neno runs by and comes up behind the thorny creature that had been attacking Diamondback around Yoshka. And you are close enough that you may do an attack, if you like, a melee attack.
Yes, please.
It is also...
Wait, I thought you were going to cast a ranged spell.
Oh, sorry,
I'm throwing a firebolt.
Right, firebolt you
That's
can
not
do from
melee.
like
Okay.
30 feet away, yeah.
Okay. That's what I want to do. I want to attack with flame.
Okay, you stay with Orden, and you'll attack with the flame.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah. If I can do it from near Orden, she would.
Okay, she would just stay on his shoulders and fling a firebolt at him. Okay, sounds good. Roll a d20 and add your spell casting modifier from your character sheet.
Okay. Here's my d20. Here's my spells. My casting modifier is a +4. My roll was a 3, so I have a 7.
Okay, and let's just see if it hits.
Oh, wait, no, that was my old roll. Wait. Please do the roll. Now it's rolling. Okay, 17.
Now I see it. Yep. Good, 17. 17 does hit. So roll your damage, see how much you do with a firebolt. I don't know that off the top of my head.
Darn, where's my damage?
I can tell you. 1 second.
You have got to edit so much for me. Thank you in advance.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, let's see. Spells. There it is. I'm just going to look up firebolt.
Tonight's pause is brought to you by Rippling Alien Meat. Come get it in bulk or individually canned servings today down at Costco. Rippling Alien Meat, it's full of amino acids found on not this planet.
1d10. That was good, Josh.
Okay.
Hey, would you eat the moon if it was made out of cheese?
I know I would. I'd eat it and I'd polish it off with a tall, cool Budweiser.
1d10, Aaron Joy.
I did. It was a 0.
That's a 10.
That's a
No,
10.
custom
That's the
roll
best.
10. Okay. Yay!
Good.
Great!
All I have for all the letter A's, is that good?
This firebolt exploits this thorny creature's sort of extended form as it's trying to dodge Yoshka and do what it's doing. Managed to get between some of the twigs and pieces holding it together and burns on the inside. Does maximum amount of damage that it can do. So that was Neno. Now this creature that has come around the side sees that its captain or chief or whatever has died, and it knows exactly where to go. As brilliant as this creature is, it is drawn to the light. It makes a beeline straight for Diamondback, the brightest point in the darkness, and is able to make it to you. Let's see.
Glory brings trouble.
That's what happens.
Yes, indeed.
Don't you put that on me?
Does a 12 hit you? No, an 11 hit you, Diamondback?
It does not.
Okay. This creature makes it to you. It is one of the thorny kinds. It's rough and scratchy, but it does not manage to hit you. It did not come close enough to you, Yoshka, that you would get an opportunity attack. Gulp, you will continue laying in your current position. I don't exactly know what happens with de-animated zombies, but
It's just a corpse.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you can address me anymore.
Okay. I can if I want.
You
Diamondback,
can with that attitude.
Diamondback, it's your turn, and then Splint and Toll will be next.
Yeah, so Diamondback is going to say to Yoshka, so there are 2 of them near me, right?
There are 3 of them near you now, and to the best of your ability to tell, they are the last 3.
Are they so what I want to do is take the disengage action to get past them, but will I be able to get by? I be able to go south down the road towards Belvari?
You will. If you kind of pull a little bit to the east and skirt around Yoshka.
Okay, so I'm going to say,
Sorry, to the
Yoshka,
west.
they're only paying attention to me. I'm going to run south and try to escape. So I, noticing that they're attracted to me for some reason, I'm going to run away, and maybe there's some part of my tactical brain thinking that this will give my allies a chance to stab them in the back or something. But mostly, I just want to take 30 feet of walking away from them down the road, hopefully past Belvari to get Belvari between them and me. But taking the disengage action to
Okay.
parry their blows and like do cool ninja moves to like duck down and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And at 30 feet, you'll make it to about where Gulp is if you go straight down the road.
Great. So I say hi to Neno.
Yeah.
what's
Can
up,
I
Neno?
ask, what kind of noises does Diamondback make when he's doing his kung fu stuff?
I don't think he makes noise. I think
Does he make
tries
like a
to
lot
be
of
silent. I
No.
mean, there might be a little bit of hissing. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you for indulging me.
You don't wear like rattlesnake rattles in your shoes or anything?
Right.
No.
Pentatonic hissing.
That's right.
So whose turn is it? It is Diamondback. You make that run for to the north. To the south.
Yeah.
And it is now Splint and then Toll.
Do they see like the heads of the creatures like swivel towards me as I go?
Yeah, I mean they're definitely tracking you. You're the flame and they are the moths.
Looks like someone has created a tactical, I don't know if it's an advantage, but certainly a tactical rule for this engagement.
Splint, you may be muted.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Oh, all right. I'm going to cast Firebolt again because I don't have any good other alternatives.
Okay, there is one of the thorny creatures, two thorny creatures and one succulent left. They are right a little bit in front of you, about 10, 12 feet in front of you, right in front of Yoshka, and they are staring at the fleeing Diamondback.
I don't think I want to cast Firebolt actually because that might take away their attentioning. I'm pretty sure I have a different one that would also... They're not animals, so I couldn't cast Animal Friendship.
Okay.
Could I try and hit one of them with color spray?
You may.
That'll attempt to blind them.
Let me.
I'll try and aim for the succulent one in particular.
Pretty
I'm
good.
just going to look up color spray here because I need the details.
Oh,
of
I have it.
Good
I have it
tactic.
pulled up. Yeah.
Good. That's excellent. Good call.
What's it do?
Well, I mean, he's effectively delaying the engagement for one half of the mini mob that's headed towards Diamondback if he can blind it.
So why don't you cast that with your components, Splint, and I'm just going to read this description to our players and audience. A dazzling array of flashing colored light springs from your hand. Roll 6d10. The total is how many hit points of creatures the spell can affect. All creatures in a 15-foot cone originating from you are affected in ascending order of their current hit points, not counting unconscious creatures. Note that this will also affect Yoshka, Splint. He is in that cluster of 4. Starting with the creature with the lowest hit points, each creature that is affected by the spell is blinded until the end of your next turn, and then takes some hit point damage.
Okay. Could I move so that I'm not hitting Yoshka, or is that just...
No, they're all entangled together. They were
All right.
reaching around him to get Diamondback.
I'm glad I just ducked out of that zone.
Yeah. Well, sorry, Yoshka. This is the second time that I've semi-betrayed you. I'm going...
You're blinding him.
Hey,
It's full-blown betrayal.
It might not hit him.
I'm blinding the monsters as well. Don't forget about that. And there's only like a 25% chance that I'll die. So it's all fine.
And he's
It's
basically
all
blind
fine.
anyway in the darkness. So
Yeah.
go ahead, Jacob. Go ahead and roll for me a 6d10.
I already did 41
41. So,
total.
Yoshka, will you tell me how many hit points you have?
16.
Okay. So here's what happens. One of the succulent right next to you, and there's a thorny guy right next to you as well, Yoshka. There's actually 2 thorny guys next to you, and 1 succulent. Let's see, a dazzling ray, roll 60-10 is how many hit points of cone.
So starting with the least hit points one and working their way up, you subtract from the total. So if the littlest one has 3 hit points, then that takes
It's
away
sleep,
3
but
for
for
41
blinding.
for 38.
And does it
etc.
take 3 points of damage, or does it just get blinded?
No.
No.
It just gives the blinded condition.
It's like the sleep spell.
Got it. Yep. Now I get it. Okay, so Yoshka, you had how many?
16.
16. So the succulent right next to you screeches out and is no longer staring at Diamondback. It does not seem to be staring at anything. It's writhing around. The thorny creature right next to you, Yoshka, does the same. And Splint, you had rolled a 41.
A 41.
Okay. All of the creatures, all 3 of the remaining bad guys and Yoshka are struck with blindness.
Okay.
Nice. I did it again.
You see them lose track of Diamondback, and it is now Splint. That's the end of your turn, I think.
Yep.
Okay, Toll, it is your turn. If I'm not mistaken, any attacks against these blinded creatures now have advantage.
That is correct.
So
and someone
Toll,
should also probably take Yoshka out of the
But aren't
fray.
they? Isn't it that they are now sneak attacks because they can't see you?
Maybe, I don't know.
The spell, so.
I think that your attack would be normal, just that they're
okay.
it would be a sneak attack.
Yeah.
It says attack rolls. I'm looking at the D&D Beyond, and it says attack rolls against the creature have advantage. The
Oh, nice.
creature's attack rolls have disadvantage.
Okay,
Awesome.
great, thanks. So Toll, it's your turn. There are 4 blinded creatures before you. 3 of them your foes, unless you know something I don't know.
Well, I think I'll do
At least
Acid
3
Arrow
of them
again,
are-
at the risk of being boring, because I have quite a few components that let me cast that. And I will. Are any of them like visibly more injured than the others, or are they all just sort of blind? And...
Yeah, one of them is very severely hurt. The other 2 are not hurt badly.
Okay, well, I don't want to waste 44 on something that's already about to die, so I guess I'll cast it on one of the ones that's not severely injured.
Pick the thorny looking one that looks tougher, or the succulent that looks less tough.
I'll pick the thorny one.
Okay.
All right. It is a 20 to hit.
Good. It hits it. It has a 14. Is there armor class for all of them? So that does hit.
And 44. So that was a 9, and then I get another roll.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, Toll is going a second time now, and I haven't gone once.
Did I miss you last time because of something?
I did a reaction opportunity attack.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. You're right.
That's
I
fine.
mistook that as your action.
That's cool.
So you did 9 damage,
Reaction.
Toll,
I did 9 the first time, and then I got a 13 for the second one.
and the 13 is what it takes on the beginning of its turn.
No, I got a 13 on the second advantage roll for the first.
Advantage works when you attack. It lets you roll twice, and you get the better of the 2 attacks. It doesn't. It's not on the damage that you do.
Oh, is it only to hit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Critical. The
okay.
version of that for attack damage is critical hits.
Okay. Yeah, so I got a 9 for the first one, and then I only roll a 2d4 for the second, so let me redo that. 5 for the second one.
Okay. Sorry, the second one is what are you casting here?
Acid arrow.
Okay, so you cast one acid arrow. That's something you can do. You get to roll twice and take the better roll for your one acid arrow.
I thought that was just to hit, though. I'm confused.
Yeah, the better roll hits the single acid arrow, so then you'd roll damage one time since you hit.
Right, but there's two, because it does 4d4 initially and then 2d4 at the end of its next turn.
Can you?
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Great.
You
So
don't have to
5
roll for the second.
I had
thing
previously
that
asked him to
happens.
roll
Until-
immediately so that I could do it. I lost track of what was happening there. My fault. Okay, so yeah, your acid arrow hits deftly on this creature. It is the stronger of the two of the three remaining for sure, and it remains the stronger looking. It has no idea what happened. It's splashed with this acid, this sort of solidified arrow of acid that makes its way between and pierces into it, and then immediately sort of melts into a blob of acid and burns at it. The creature in front of Yoshka, who did not get hit, the thorny creature who looks weakened, is going to try to hit Yoshka again. It is striking wildly. It knows nothing to do except do what it was doing. Yoshka does a...
Where would you like to fit my turn in there?
You're next.
Okay.
Yeah, it's told this guy you. Let's see.
But what about the turn that he missed?
Yeah, I messed up on that. Take an extra action here. Let's say that you save. Let's turn it into you saved your action in case anybody blinded you. I mean, I don't know. Hold on one second.
Specifically me.
That's right.
Wild card.
Yoshka, he rolls with disadvantage as he flails about. Does a 14 hit you?
He also has advantage because I'm blind.
Well, I think it cancels out.
It cancels out, yeah.
You just roll
Okay.
a single.
I'll tell you what. I'm just going to re-roll then because I don't know what... I rolled them at the same time. You know what? I'm going to take the disadvantage. 14. Does a 14 hit you?
Yeah.
Okay. It hits you and does 10 damage.
Ouch.
So it is just flailing wildly. Yoshka, it's your turn.
Okay. I cast sleep in the direction that I remember all those three guys to be.
Okay.
But that's where you are as well. They're all around you, right?
As I understood, they were on one side.
Oh, okay.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good.
So I'm just rolling 5d8 here. I guess I could have pre-rolled that.
So for our listening audience, sleep works about the same way as color spray. He rolls a total amount of hit points worth of sleep that he can do, and that's it.
10, 8. So 20.
And it starts with the lowest hit points and affects them in ascending hit point order. The creature, Yoshka, who... the succulent right next to you is thrashing and scrambling around, and it is hit by this wave of magic force at it, and it just collapses to the ground. Doesn't seem dead, but it does seem no longer affected by consciousness. You know what is going on. Perhaps your friends do not. The thorny creature that just scratched out at you, that is hit you significantly, also collapses to the ground, a pile of sinewy twigs and vines and thorns. The other is unaffected. It is still grumbling and growling and thrashing about. And just for me to real quickly, let me see. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Never count out the blind bard. That's right. Helen Keller's handing out naps.
Oh yeah.
Do the maps like do damage?
So, how long are they asleep? They fall unconscious until
1
the
minute.
spell ends. Okay, or the sleeper takes damage, or someone uses an action to shake or slap the sleeper awake. Okay, sounds good. So yeah, these two creatures are asleep. Belvari, you are standing triumphantly over your foe, a saber-toothed tiger extraordinaire. What would you like to do?
So wait, do I not get 2 turns?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Agave
Take your
You said
other
you-
action. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
Other action.
Cool. So there's one guy left by
Promise
me.
I'm not trying to rob you.
That's cool.
Should you get
I'm
one
not trying
without
to
the
murder you.
disadvantage of being
Completely
blind?
accidental.
I also cast sleep on Splint. Just kidding.
Do it.
After a stunning backhand, Helen Keller gives the forehand to,
That's right.
to Splinter.
Next time on
You can
Zero
find
Damage
it,
Duel.
you can cast it.
He dreams about being nicer to his friends.
People say that the only thing that can bring you out of a coma from Helen Keller's forehand is her backhand.
Okay. So Yoshka, what's Yoshka gonna do?
I'm gonna swing. I guess I'm gonna swing at the other fellow blindy.
Okay.
I have advantage and disadvantage.
Yeah.
So they
just,
cancel each other out.
just roll regular wise.
Our
Okay.
HR legal team would like to apologize for the word blindy. We fully recognize the dignity and sanctity of all human life. We'd
Agree
like to
disagree?
protect ourselves from all legal repercussion for any implication of hate
Like-
speech. This is a complete act of
All right,
fiction.
all right.
Except
Spread
for the
out,
crippled
spread
people.
out.
Ugh.
Yoshka, Jared,
17.
a 17 does hit. What damage do you do? How much damage?
9.
Okay. This creature is this embattled creature is heavily damaged as well. It is still standing. It is still thrashing. Yoshka, you have your. I think it's a shillelagh, right? You have a.
I thought it was just my staff.
Okay, you have your staff. You've got some.
I think at the beginning of combat you cast Shillelagh, so if you haven't cast another concentration spell, you should still have it.
Well, he's using his, in this particular case, his menacing bow staff skills gets him. That's how he got the leadership in this gang position.
It's what made us pick him out of all the applicants.
That's right. And he does.
The rest of us fell in the water.
You land. That's right. You land a fantastic blow, Yoshka, and just really thrash this thorny creature. It is.
Dwight, are you sure about that?
Say it again.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
Dwight's
yeah.
right, then it would be 2 more damage.
Because
11.
of Shalala?
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right too. That's my recollection, but
Okay.
we'll say it is, and it doesn't materially change the outcome here. But it is 2 more damage. Belvari and then Neno. Belvari, it's your turn. You see 2 of these creatures drop. It doesn't look like they dropped dead, but they certainly dropped. And one of them, you see Yoshka land a significant blow against.
How far away from me are they?
15 feet approximately. Yoshka and the 3 creatures.
Ooh. So I will use my 40 feet of motion to back up 5 feet. And then I will spring at the strongest looking of the things so I can hit them with the power of having moved 20 feet straight towards them.
Deal. This is one of the ones who collapsed asleep. This is the strongest looking one.
I want the one that's standing up.
Okay, he is there then. And how does this work? What do you do?
I'm going to do a claw attack, and if that hits, then he has to do a DC 14 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
Okay.
So
And
it's
if
a
he's
20-foot jump?
Just move, not jump.
Oh.
And if he's prone, I can make. Oh, and I guess I may be close enough to make my bonus action bite attack on one of the prone ones, even if I don't knock this guy down.
Yeah.
Anyway, claw attack. It is +6 to hit. There we go. +6. Roll. How's a 17?
17 hits. They've got 14.
Okay. So then 2d6 +5 damage. 10 damage.
In the
And he's. Oh, go ahead.
in the darkness, several of you, not Yoshka, but the rest of you see a leaping, a sprinting lion plow directly into this thorny creature, and there's a tangle of fur and thorn, and the creature comes apart and is lawn clippings effectively. It is no more.
Gotcha. So then have to. So looking at the wording, I don't think I can make a bonus bite attack on any prone enemy. I think it has to be the target of the pounce. So
Okay.
I won't do that.
And you wouldn't want to anyway, right? Because I would wake him up.
Neno,
We got to kill him.
Neno, they are asleep for probably another 45 seconds or so, and it is your turn. There are
Okay,
no more awake enemies that you can tell. There are lots of little scrambling creatures all around. And you are there on Mount Gulp.
All right. I'm very close to blind because of being short and there being darkness up to my eyeballs. But I holler out, hoping that everyone on our party can hear it. Distract them with light. And I take a firebolt and I throw it back in the direction that we came from into a scrub, like a shrubbery that looks dry and flammable. And off to the side where we once saw that one creature going, hoping to start a fire so that they're attracted to something behind us and we can run forward quickly.
In case this affects you, the only two that you can see remaining are asleep.
Right, but we once saw that one that was off to the side.
That one came back in towards
Missed it. Okay.
Diamondback.
Well, so did she. She missed it.
Okay,
She didn't
sounds
see
good.
it.
Sounds good.
So that's the direction she's throwing.
Okay, great.
A man named Roger springs out from the thicket and goes, "No, not my shrubbery! No!"
So, and I'm just looking at a
It's even
flammable
louder when he's
object.
dead.
Okay. You cast your bolt into something on the side of the road behind you some ways, and it does ignite a small fire in the brush. Just not like a big thing, but there's a smoldering. It's dim and hard to see because of the darkness, but it's a dim light that you can see is in the area around you. It is
Great.
now.
Her goal is to grab the hand of Orden and just take off running, but I don't think she can do that this turn.
Yeah, you can. You can move. In addition.
Okay, that's what I do. I grab Orden's hand and take off at a sprint.
Run
She
to
would
the
probably
south.
want to grab Yoshka's too, but she doesn't know that he's blind.
Yeah, and you can't reach him from here. He's to the north of you.
Goodbye.
Okay, sounds good. So Neno has done that. It is, let's see, it would be Gulp's turn, but he is turnless and unturning. Diamondback, it is your turn. Splint, you'll be next.
So,
The action seems to have calmed down.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Diamondback does not know that it's 45 more seconds that they're going to be asleep for, and he runs. No, so the first thing that he does is he takes Gulb's shirt off and he puts it on. So he unclips Gulb's pack and it falls onto the road, and then he takes Gulb's shirt off.
By shirt, you mean his armor?
No, his armor's already off.
Okay,
I'm
that's
presuming
right.
he's got some kind of
right.
undershirt, something underneath of the armor.
Sure, some furs, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
So I
got the
take off his.
poncho. I was gonna say, if you took the armor off of him, what he's wearing is probably just his poncho, his hide poncho.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
his
so
main item of clothing.
Okay.
So Diamondback puts that on, and probably his turn is over.
Yeah, that's three
After that,
things.
if we're still in turn.
Yeah.
Can
Turn-based
Josh
action.
point out something to Matt that Matt has opened up his pack before and looked through it? So I don't know if you want to do anything with that knowledge, but
So Diamondback has your three quote free actions here, which are your become your action bonus. Your free action bonus action and regular action are you unclip Gulp's backpack. That's one. You pull off his kind of poncho fur thing. That's two. And you don it yourself. That's three. Good.
Yeah.
It is now, and you can keep in mind what Josh said or whatever. It is now Splint, and then Toll, and then Yoshka.
All right. So, the three shrubbery creatures are all asleep.
Two of them are asleep.
Two of them asleep.
Belvari killed one.
All right.
And
Let's
they have
see.
varying levels of damage.
Okay. Which one is the most damaged?
There's a thorny one that is not. It's about half damaged, and there's a succulent that looks weaker but is not very much damaged.
All right. If I'm to do a bit of quick math calculationing, I would say that if I were to cast, maybe
Sorry.
not Firebolt, but something.
You know what I'm going to do real quickly?
stronger.
What I'm going to do
Yeah.
here is actually, because all of your opponents are asleep, you can do the equivalent of just slitting their throats. Let's go out of turn order, out of combat initiative, and let's narratively close this up, finish this out, and then we'll take our 10-minute break.
All right. I'll just cast Create Bonfire under one of them to burn them up. Now that it's all narrative, why not?
Yeah, we toss them
I
onto
feel
a
like that
bonfire.
may wake them up.
it's a coup de fire. It's a coup d'etat.
It's a dex savings throw, and because they're asleep, they can't do anything. And they're blinded, which
But
is
they'll,
awesome.
just to say, they'll take 1d8 damage, which may not be enough to kill them.
Right.
All
and
right,
they
we'll
only
cast it multiple
automatically
times.
throw things
Just everyone,
those that
3,
involve their eyes.
1.
No, I mean we.
Are we all stoking the flames? Is that what the blowing was?
Yeah.
But the narrative, because we're out of turn order and we're narratively slitting their throat. The particular color that Jacob wanted to put on that slitting their throat was create bonfire.
Okay, that works.
Doing it with fire.
Yeah, I'll take that interpretation. Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it, Matt. So here's what happens.
Or burning their
You
throats.
gently work together as quickly as you can, not to wake them, and you pull them together. Yoshka, you do not participate in this, aside from cheering. Neno and Orden, you do not participate in this, aside from dashing to the south into the darkness alone. The rest of you quickly pile these creatures up. A bonfire is cast under them, but you've bound them in each other sufficiently that they wake up with a writhing, sort of clicking scream, like it has the sound of all of those plant things you've heard blowing into acorn lids and on whistling on grass and clicking of branches and everything together all at once. And then you don't hear it anymore, and all you hear is the peaceful scrambling of strange creatures over your feet, now occasionally catching on fire as they run wildly through this bonfire and little dancing for a few moments away into the darkness and their deaths. The
Such
bonfire
an
dies down.
auditorily beautiful death scene.
That's right. The bonfire dies down, and I'm just gonna really quickly check about color spray. How long does color spray last?
1
Color
minute.
spray.
The blindness.
Yeah.
Okay, Yoshka, you finally see again and the thing that you see is this fire ablaze, and Diamondback also
Or how about
ablaze.
I come back too? When I can see again, I see that I'm holding Diamondback's hand running.
Well, can I petition one last scene? Like Diamondback, you're looking at Gulp's body on the ground, and you've been doing something this whole time that now has been thwarted, right?
All right, we're gonna stop here, and what I want you guys, if you're gonna think about anything during the break, here are two suggestions. One is that we need to figure out what you want to do about Gulp, who is now de-animated again, and you are close-ish to Miradau. You might want to think about that. The other thing is that Neno and Orden have run into the darkness, and who knows what's going on there. So you've got
Probably never see him again.
you've got an interesting choice between the living friend who flees and the lying dead friend who stays
We'll
here.
always stay beside you.
Okay, 10-minute break. We'll be back at, let's make it a
As long as you
little
stay
shorter than
beside
10
him.
minutes, but about 9:05, 9:07. 9:07. We will see you guys, our listening audience. You will hear us, I guess, in a little bit. Thank you very much.
I'm already back.
Yeah.
Bad at visualization.
All right.
I just caught that lettuce is a pun there too.
Yep. This is The Dying of the Light, Season 3 of the Starfall Collective. Starfall Collective is a collaborative storytelling group using the Dungeons and Dragons game system as a vehicle for creating rich and compelling stories in a fictional world that we've been developing together for a while. You can find out more about the collective as well as the stories we're telling at thestarfallcollective.com. We're back with another episode. Let's find out who's in this episode. I am Sir Robert Burbridge, a father and entrepreneur, among other things perhaps, and I am the host of this season's story. With me tonight are a few friends playing the characters in this drama. Please say your name, something about yourself if you like, and a brief description of the character you're playing. Matt.
Hi, my name is Matthew Talamini. I'm a writer and web developer based in Providence, Rhode Island, and you can find my stuff at MatthewTalamini.com. That's Matthew, TALAMINI.com. I'm playing the shirtless wizard, Diamondback, but I am currently wearing the shirt of my slain friend, Gulp.
Speaking of whom, Josh.
My name's Joshy. I get to eat ice cream tonight.
Speaking of whom, Jared.
My name's Jared. I'm playing Yoshka, who is currently staring at the shirt on Diamondback's back that burns, though it is not consumed.
No. It's
The back burns.
the shirt can hide the flame, but it doesn't quench it.
Oh.
And it doesn't burn the shirt or anything, but it can
Is there a
hide
little
it.
bit of flame sprouting out like where your chest hair would be?
Yes, probably.
Not to
Speaking of
mention,
which,
it's more of a cape poncho, so your chest is still very much exposed. So
No, it's only the tops of my shoulders that has the spell on it.
Belvari. Dwight.
Hi, I'm Belvari, and my stuff is at MatthewTalamini.com, but you have to go and you read every third letter, and that's my stuff.
The Epistles of Belvari. And Splint.
Hello, I am Jacob Burbridge, and I will be playing Splint.
Can you turn your mic up just a little, Jacob? Or get closer to it?
All right. Is this better?
That's better.
All right. I am Jacob Burbridge, and I will be playing Splint, who is not Splinter, as in the rat in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Splinter, as in the thing that you get stuck in your hand most of the time when you're dealing with wood cutlery. It's just
You might get
Splint.
stuck in your eye.
Okay. Good to know. And
I think
Toll.
this time you forgot Patrick.
Yes, my name is Patrick, as they have said. I think Donda is the best Kanye album since Yeezus, and I will be playing the character of Toll. And Toll also, actually, believe it or not, thinks that Donda is the best Kanye album since Yeezus.
Toll got hot takes.
He does.
It was not until the second time you said that I was able to parse any words. Okay. True story.
To speak the name is like dropping a frag grenade or an EMP in the middle of a philosophical mind. Sorry, go ahead.
So, great. Let's get into the action. We last left. We found our characters in a predicament. I will say this just briefly, but the predicament is that Neno has taken Orden and fled for presumably safety into the darkness towards Miradau. Mere moments ago, a minute or two ago. But Gulp, their bulky friend, lays re-slain. A zombie reanimated, once more deanimated, now kneeling in a sort of morbid repose, waiting for them to do something with him, perhaps. What do you want to do? Let's just jump straight into the action. You may or may not know where Neno is in this darkness, especially with Diamondback's shoulders having the flame appearing to have been quenched. It is daytime far above you, but you don't have much light.
Let's go.
Diamondback. Oh, go on.
Can as the player, as the person who was playing Gulp, can I point out that Gulp has been protective of his pack and seems to have been particularly concerned about always keeping his pack near him his whole time?
I hear what you're saying, but what does it mean?
Let's go. Nano, we're coming. And Yoshka starts running towards to try to catch up to Nana.
As if Yoshka goes past me, I'm calling to Neno as well, saying, Neno, the danger is past. Come on back. But if Yoshka goes past me, I'll try to stop him to talk.
When you say calling out, what level of calling out are you doing? Is this like a shouting as loud as you can, "Hey, Neno," or is this like a "Don't worry, Neno," as though she's close? You don't know how far she is right now.
I mean, she. If I would have called out to her the second that I saw her running away.
Okay.
So 6 seconds after I put on this, after I put on Gulp's shirt, the next thing Diamondback would have done is call out to Neno, because she's not running away from danger anymore. She's running, into danger. So I would have. But I would have probably halfway to a shout.
Yeah. So here's what I want you to do, Diamondback, for me, and anybody else who's interested in, who would have done the same, and your character would have done this at the moment. I guess Yoshka, you probably didn't know that she ran away because you were blind at the time. Diamondback.
Yeah.
She'll be able to hear you. I'll just say by fiat because of how close in time that is. What I want you to do is I'm going to roll for her, but I want you to make a persuasion check.
That's a big 3.
Okay, and let's see. Give me 1 sec. Okay, and she rolled a 20. You were unpersuasive. Toll, you are also right next to them. You are standing there at Gulp. Do you have is there any action you're going to take when you see Neno sprint forward, or is it going to, you're going to let it go, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I might call after her. I also have the components. Let me make sure I have enough, but I think I have enough components to cast Locate Object. So if there's something that she has on her that we can describe, I don't know what's required. I can give those components to the person who knows the stuff she's carrying on her, because I would assume Toll doesn't know her that well yet.
Sure. Okay, before that though, right when she sprints away, would Toll have done anything about it?
Yeah, he would have said something. He would have been like, "Where are you going? Why are you sprinting away?" Because she thought that she was going after
Diamondback,
right?
Yeah, who was right next to her and sprinting kind of up to her. But, maybe she was going to take off with him. There's a little bit of confusion there. Roll me, if you will, also a persuasion check. Just the same one we just did.
Sure, with my 7 charisma.
That's right.
Oh, I got a 16. Okay,
Right.
I didn't get 20.
Yeah, and she has a 9. So I'm going to interpret that this way. Neno stops where she is. She's a little bit down the road. You don't hear the pattering of her feet anymore. She does not come back. She's still concerned about the danger, but it seems to you that you have heard her stop running. Diamondback and Toll are the ones who would be aware of that.
I'll say the creatures have been destroyed. We lit them on fire, so it's safe to come back. You don't have to keep running.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's going to be persuasive because she's trying to avoid also the wild unknown darkness. So yeah, that's persuasive enough that one of her fellows, and not Splint, she's been really suspicious of Splint, but that one of her compatriots here is calling her back. Two of them, I guess, actually now. Yeah, you see her kind of jogging back with Orden. She's got him by the hand. It's like dim. You're seeing silhouettes. She's got him by the hand and is in front of him. These creatures that are scrambling around on the ground are the shorter ones are still thigh high to her, but the larger ones are actually as tall as or taller than her and Orden now. So this is a tough spot for her to be in. Fear-wise, she is ready to be among people who are bigger than these randomish, erratic creatures all around her that don't seem to pose a threat. But boy, do they seem to be able to if they wanted. There are a lot of them. Okay, y'all jump in. Neno is going to go along with what you guys do. She's not in a contributing to the decisions mood. She is in a try to take care of Orden and hope that you guys take care of her mood.
Nice.
So Toll has 14 strength. If that's enough to carry both of them or one of them, he's willing to.
He has what?
He has 14 strength, so I don't know if the act of carrying them, since I'm not a zombie, will slow me down, but I feel bad having them just be on the ground.
Yeah.
Yoshka would say something pleasant to kind of like crouch down close to Orden and say, "Hey, young man, we're going home right now." And if as long as he doesn't stop him, Orden doesn't stop me, I'll pick him up, put him on my shoulders, look over to Toll and say, "We get Neno and let's go. We should run."
So
I'm going to try to set a jogging pace.
He does not prevent you from picking him up. Belvari and Diamondback, and I guess Toll actually, one of you is going to maybe interpret the thing for Neno and also figure out the Gulp thing, if there is a thing to figure out.
I'm just going to start going.
Belvari is a saber-toothed tiger, so he can't talk, but he will keep heading towards the town. He does not care about gold. Sorry.
How heavy is Gulp's pack?
I can tell you that approximately. It looks like, if I understand this correctly, about 70 pounds.
Okay.
82 pounds.
Diamondback can't pick it up. And he can't pick up Gulp. As Yoshka goes past Diamondback, and he's starting to carry the smaller people in our group, Diamondback is just sort of looking at him pleadingly and says, Is there no way that we can bring Gulp with us?
Most notably, there's a doll that's hanging out of his mouth that's been crammed in there. And at this point, it's probably slightly caked in there with blood and stuff, but you can see the little strands of yarn or whatever that are the same color as the hair of the former leader that we lost.
So Yoshka and Belvari, I don't want to influence the action here, but Yoshka and Belvari are just starting to take off. Diamondback says this. Toll and Splint also are here hearing this sort of plaintive plea from Diamondback.
Splint is going to Splint knows that the Diamondback had a real friend in Gulp, now Zulb, now Corpse. So he's going to be like consoling, but also he didn't really like Zulb that much either. So he's going to be like, "Hey, it's okay. Just like
Can we at least pile some rocks on top of him. Anything.
Okay. You know
No.
what we could do? We could.
Do have fires burning already.
We do have fires burn. How about this? What if we cut off his head, burn the body, and then give him a proper burial? Give his head the proper burial at the end.
Do we have time to decapitate someone?
Pretty easy if you have a sharp if you have like something sharp.
Does anybody have a
not
sword?
the sociopath?
No,
who
we
just
don't.
joined us.
We've got like bone-tipped spears and like sharp wooden stuff. We don't have like a guillotine.
Yeah, you got to get through a spinal cord. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, we'll cut off the arm. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not my friend. I mean, in the
Right,
most
no.
consoling way.
So Varg
No, there
would
was
talk
a,
to you and say, just funny.
So I think what Diamondback is going to do is seeing that Yoshka is determined and remembering his own words to Yoshka earlier that day, that whoever is out here and away from the town when this false night falls is just dead. He quickly looks over Gulp, looking for anything that might be of significance, and I guess he empties out all the heavy crap out of the pack, but takes the pack itself. But he doesn't take any of the venison, any of the heavy stuff.
What about
So
the
maybe
armor?
A box falls out that is obviously well crafted and has runes on it, and it's
He takes
about
the
the
box.
size of a brick.
What?
He takes the box. He takes like he
What
can't
about
take
the
the
armor?
armor. The armor's too heavy
Okay.
for Diamondback to take it.
What does-
But he's going to also, because he's a creepy necromancer, he is going to take like one finger. He's going to
That's a
take
little
like a pinky finger, and he's going to take the doll, and he's going to take he's also there was a tattoo that was very significant to Gulp.
On his
And
arm.
so he's going to skin that part of Gulp's body, like that arm. He's just going to take 5 minutes, and if the others are going to go along, like he'll run to catch up with them, I guess. But he's just going to skin, because at one point, Diamondback had drawn this orc tattoo on himself.
Yeah.
But it's washed off since then. But so he's going to get that tattoo, which is something that they shared for a little while. And he doesn't know what it means, but he's going to cut it off and keep that skin. So he's got finger, skin, box, and doll.
Toll.
It's actually a rune that says "Do not remove."
Under penalty of life. Yoshka, you took Orden, put him on your shoulders, and ran. Belvari, you are in saber-toothed tiger form. And did you give Neno a ride?
If she wants to hop on, that's fine.
She desperately does.
I'm not sure how tall a saber-tooth tiger is. Can I see over the... I guess I could climb up in the trees. And
It's dark, but there's enough light filtering down that you've got very dim light that you can see. You know where the road is. You're not going to slam into a tree as you lope along.
Gotcha.
And there are all these creatures, and stuff like that. Splint, there is some stuff, and also Toll. These have started taking off. There is some stuff in the inventory of this fallen orc. In particular, Toll, you're a half orc, and this guy's an orc. And one of the things that you see that everybody seems to have left is you see some unusual looking scale mail armor that is a good enough fit that it could fit you. It's probably better than the sort of toga sarong thing that you're wearing right now.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yeah, Toll will take that, and he'll say to Diamondback, "I'm sorry for your loss, but I need to wear clothes."
It's a funeral looting.
Wait, so
And that hammer is there too.
But you're an orc, aren't you?
I'm a half orc.
Half orc. Well, Diamondback will say, maybe you will understand its use better than I would. He would have wanted you to have it. He's very generous to his friends, and he would have wanted you to have it.
Thank you.
Toll.
I wish I could have been one of his friends.
Sorry. Toll.
Is there anything?
I added that to your inventory, Toll. You can look at it. It is called Scale Mail of the Goliath Scarabs.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. All right.
Nice. Is there anything else on Zulb now? Corpse.
Did you give him the hammer?
There is a maul that he has, a big old heavy stone hammer. He's also got normal adventuring gear, some torches and junk. Diamondback took some of them.
Neck off.
What's that?
We could have smashed his neck off with the hammer.
Okay, great.
Hey, go ahead and do that. I would love the head.
I mean, I'm not strong enough, but
So
I'm not strong enough either.
Splint, what are
I
you going to
can't
do?
wield them all.
is there anything left on Zulb now, corpse?
Yeah, there's a bag of money unless Matt's already taken it off.
No. I have all his components, though.
Okay.
I would have taken the bag of money because
Okay.
Splint is just gonna grab the bag of money, see Diamondback, and says he's very generous. I'm sure he would have loved for me to have this.
You come up with a bag with 356 copper in it.
Thank you.
That's a good deal.
That's right. In this place, that's like 8 cartons of cigarettes.
I know.
What?
So, okay, let's get on our...
landscape
If nobody's going to take the mall, I will as well.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go for it. I will add that mall. It's just a regular mall. If you want to look at it, what it really is a stone club, not a club, a stone hammer. He's using the mall stats, which is great. Okay, so y'all run into the darkness. Belvari has Orden. Belvari has Neno. Yoshka has Orden. The others of you have taken, let's call it, memorabilia from Gulp and mementos.
There you go.
And
Diamondback maybe even took a memento.
Wow,
that was momentous. And so
Cut to the quick.
And I'm using the Circle of the Night Watch
You say
on another torch.
Say it again.
I'm using the Circle of the Night Watch on another torch.
Okay, great. So you run into the darkness. There are all kinds of sounds. The forest is getting strange. Y'all are able to keep together pretty well. Jared, does anybody else light a torch or anything, or are you just trying to do your best to follow the footprints or chirp at each other? How are you staying together?
Following Yoshka, following the light.
Yoshka has the Circle of the Night Watch on his torch, so only it's dark to everybody. Only he can see.
Light.
Well, I mean, we could use your flame.
Yeah, take off your shirt.
What do you think about that? Sure, I'll take off my shirt and you can follow me.
Okay.
I'll stay with Yoshka. I'll stay like right next to him and everybody can follow me.
I could also just sing a running tune.
Sure.
Yes.
Why not both?
And I can join him.
Because light will attract enemies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Neno did figure that out. So, yeah, I'm not going to take my shirt off. I don't want more of these things coming after us.
Fair point.
So here's what happens. Y'all run for a while, and to the best of your guess, just from what y'all have been doing and how far you've been going, you had guessed that you're 6-ish hours away. As you run, I'm checking a few things as I go. You run along, and you see, you hear or see, let me see. Off to one side, as you are running, you hear what appears, what sounds like a huge number of creatures that you cannot identify in some major combat. By the sound of it, you would guess a clash of some kind. By the sound of it, you would guess that it is hundreds of creatures that have, for some reason, fighting. Maybe several hundred feet into the woods, off to you're traveling south, and they are off to the west. You run by them. They are far enough away that it does not seem to affect you, but there is chaos all around. It is intense. You run as you continue moving as fast as you can for the next hour. There is a moment, especially Belvari, you notice something. All of you see it. There is a moment off to the east, far enough away that it looks distant, but a strange light seems to flash several times as though something is moving through the trees in the distance. The first strange thing about it is that though it seems like it must be a couple hundred feet away, you see the light. That's quite peculiar.
Quite bright.
The second strange thing about it is that the character of the light is really different than what you're used to. Though it's daytime, and daylight, of course, is a yellow-green dappled color, all around you. This light is strange. It's almost only white. It's like it has a clarity to it.
Preposterous.
And what's that?
Preposterous.
And this light flashes several times and then is no more. You don't know what comes of it. It's not enough for you to figure out where it was, but you do see this off in the distance. You continue traveling, and as you do, you've been running at a breakneck pace, slowing down when you need to because you're out of breath or whatever. But you have this strange sensation because overhead, right, I've described it before as almost as though you're swimming in a dark lake, right? What it would look like for the daylight to be above you. And it seems like it's, getting further and further above you. The darkness around you is getting deeper and deeper. Yoshka seems to be able to see and keep you on the road, and he is singing a kind of chant that helps you know where he is, but also keep time. But you have this eerie sensation, all of you do. It feels like, you're not, because you're running on this road, but because of the way the light above you over the 10, 20, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, seems to get further and further away, it almost feels as though you're sinking into the darkness of the earth. It's a strange and disconcerting feeling. The creatures around you have gotten the little tiny scrambling creatures are now not as numerous as they were. You hear them and you don't really see them anymore, but you don't find yourself kicking them very often. Every several minutes you might kick one. The slightly larger creatures, the plantish creatures that are roaming around, you do start noticing these guys are grow numerous for a while, and then they too seem to diminish in number. This third hour that you're running, you start to notice something different.
And just to add a little flavor here, as we see this stuff, Yoshka takes the same tune he's been leading with, and then changes the word to that song they remember he sang about the fireflies, and he sings it slightly different than the time before, and you guys might remember a light that is steady and true. And that phrase sticks out, and then he switches the words up a little bit so that it's about a firefly, one of the great fireflies from above, coming down.
Good.
Nice.
So
Beautiful
that
musical accompaniment by Splint.
I was just going to specifically say not by Splint.
And all of you take heart some at Yoshka's lyrics and take umbrage some at Splint's playing. As you run, you continue going through the night or through the dark or whatever. You find yourself thinking of it as a night more and more. At some point around the third hour that you've been going through this, and Belvari, after I think it's an hour, your form would change.
Yeah.
Tell me how you're handling that, because you've got Neno.
Yeah. If there's some sort of warning inside my somatic
Yeah, you're aware
feelings, I would kind of shake Nino off shortly before I turn back into a small boy.
Mm-hmm.
Bugger onto Toll.
Would you become a creature again, a different creature, or the same?
No, I want to save that, so I'll just run on as Belvari.
Okay. And Neno would request, of course, as she has mentioned, that she would feel more comfortable perhaps with someone either carrying her or holding her hand. She is blind and the world is big. Anybody up for that?
Yeah, Toll can do it.
Okay. Toll, she's a forest gnome, so she's very small. You could carry her on your shoulders as Yoshka is for the young demi-halfling, or you can walk alongside her, or run or jog alongside her.
I'll just put her on my shoulders. That seems easier.
Okay. And there's no impediment because of your size and Yoshka's as well. There's no impediment to your movement for this.
Okay.
You travel along, and as y'all are going, at some point you notice around the third hour. Ooh, that's interesting. At some point you notice that the light or the darkness, or however you want to think of it, the surface of the water, if it were water indeed, seems to get to about where the canopy is above you. And surprisingly quickly, you guess is above the level of the canopy of the low wood. And now it is dark. There is no more light. You have found yourself fully immersed in this dark false night, as Garriott says. Suddenly, in the distance, a little bit ahead of you, you hear a sound, and it at first you take it to be a rumbling kind of sound, but pretty quickly, you understand that it is not exactly a rumbling, but perhaps would be better described as a growling. You don't see anything. None of you see anything. You've been for hours going blind. You've been for hours running blind, except for Yoshka, and perhaps occasionally. And Yoshka, I should have said sorry. After 2 hours, your torch runs out. Do you light another one and continue?
Yes, if it's... I'm a little bit confused by the narration. Would I still see once it sounds like the darkness that was up to Neno's head has gotten up above, and does my torch still show me?
Your torch works. You see
okay.
About
then
40.
Yeah.
You would do that? Okay, great. And you're seeing black and white in dim light about 20 feet. So it's like you're running at pre-dawn or post-dusk, in our world. Okay.
If needed, we can form a cha-cha train and
sure
hold wastes or whatever and slow down.
The road is pretty straight. It goes up and down some hills, but they're able to follow. Your song is keeping rhythm and giving them location, and it's totally fine if every once in a while, if anybody panics or anything, you could let them come and jog next to you and hold the torch with you, and they would be able to see for a short while, or for as long as they hold it with you. Mm-hmm. So your torch lasts 2 hours. What you see ahead of you, but a little too late, because you can see in dim light for a distance, you find yourself suddenly and unexpectedly, there are 2 wolves in the road. Just there. They're seeming to be eating something. You don't know what. But what you do know is that you have to roll initiative.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ugh, my hand just wants to roll a
12.
5.
I got 12 for Yoshka. I got Splint at 13.
That's 13 plus 2.
Okay. And
Toll got 16.
16 for Toll.
I'm 13 plus 0.
Wow.
Belvari, what did you have?
13.
Okay. And I'm going to do for that one.
Diamondback got a 20.
20 for Diamondback. These two wolves that are standing in the road are something like growling. It's not exactly growling. They're not like growling at a threat. They seem to be enjoying whatever this is they have torn apart. But they come on you and are immediately aware of you. They don't do anything. They continue eating, but they do that thing that wolves and dogs sometimes do, which is they're eating their food and they kind of freeze, and you hear this as though
bristling.
What's that?
They're like Their
They're
hair
bristling.
Is
That's
sticking
right.
up, bristling.
They've got their, I guess the technical word would be their hackles up. These two wolves do this. Yoshka, you find yourself, you see them. They come into view only 20 feet from you, and you manage to stop and, of course, get everyone else to stop. But you're 10, 15 feet away from them. They sense that and are aware of that. Here's what happens. The wolves don't do anything. They just eat. They just freeze there and are growling at you. Belvari, it is your turn first. What do you do?
Wait, I'll talk to them.
Can Belvari target them and know where they are?
All of you have stopped because Yoshka has stopped you. He's said, "Hey, stop, something," and you can hear their growling.
Okay.
You can pick up what's going on, and maybe Yoshka has described something. Yoshka, you just said to Belvari, "Wait, I'll talk to them." Is that what you said? Belvari, what do you want to do?
You have a way to talk to wolves?
Does Yoshka respond to Belvari's question?
Yeah, if he holds his action until I respond, is that cool?
Yeah, y'all can talk a little bit. This is right at the beginning of the initiative.
Yeah, I can talk to wolves. I'll just tell them we respect their strength and we'll pass by, and we'll go around.
If a little bit of time happens, enough for this conversation.
Just real quick, as a side thing, I rolled a 13. I don't know why I'm going first, but did you get a number too high for me?
No, it's just that the two wolves are there, and you're in the initiative order. You're sandwiched between them, and so I was starting with them going "Arr," and then you're going.
Gotcha.
Next. And that's a little mushy with turn order and who was in front. We didn't establish all that.
Gotcha. Sure, Belvari will dodge.
Sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
Belvari will dodge.
Okay.
That's his action.
The wolves bristle, as I said, and Yoshka, it is your turn next.
Okay, with the skin of the slender-tailed chimpanzee and a flower of sleepy-rooted persimmon tree, I speak to the wolves and say, "You are strong." I kind of bow my head like I imagine a wolf would, and be like, "You are strong, but we are many. We will go around." And then start walking around a little bit off the trail.
I just don't know off the top of my head how Speak with Animals works. I just got to read the text real quickly.
Okay.
1 second. You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration, which is 10 minutes. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at a minimum, beasts can give you information about locations and stuff. You might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor at the GM's discretion. Okay. Sounds good. So you are strong. We are many. And you start to walk around?
Yeah.
Presumably, you just start walking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I probably pause for a minute and see if they respond.
They just stay frozen.
Okay, then I'll start going around.
Okay. Just to let you know, I was rolling to see how they're interpreting your.
Okay. I'm happy to try to do it persuasively.
No, you're good. You said that, and that's fine. They don't move. You can see that they haven't moved. The others don't know what's happening. They just are standing there in the dark. Next is, and you've got Orden with you. Diamondback, you're the one who next can react.
Okay. Yoshka stopped and stopped singing and cast a spell, and then he did some weird dog growling.
That's
Is
right.
that what I heard?
That's right. And then nothing.
And I heard the wolves growling too.
Yeah, they stopped growling, but you don't know anything else.
Yeah, okay. So
you're also not necessarily sure they're wolves.
I take off this shirt. I don't throw it off in a dramatic way, as I would have done the last several times, because I lose those shirts.
That's called character arc.
I take it off, and I stick it down my pants, or stick it in my pouch or whatever. And now people can see better because. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe they can see a little bit better because I've got my my continual flame flickering on my shoulders. Mm-hmm. And maybe the wolves will see me as menacing because I'm definitely doing like the crow sort of stance.
Yeah. So here's what you see. When all of you see, as Yoshka takes off this, the area around you is illuminated with a dim light. And... sorry, not Yoshka. When Diamondback takes off his
Gulp's fur coat.
That's right. The area around you is illuminated with a natural-looking, a warm light. Yoshka, you've been able to see in sort of grayscale and dimly, so you're not seeing like full detail of everything color-wise. What y'all see is these two silver-gray wolves are over some carrion. It is not distinguishable what this carrion is. However, they're about 10 feet in front of you. You know, ballpark. You're close. They seem to be not. They were bristling and aggressive before. They seem to have been mollified somewhat by Yoshka. Yoshka, you see, has now walked a little bit around them. He's maintaining about 10-15 feet and is now 10 or 15 feet away from you guys. Y'all are traveling south. He is 10 or 15 feet. He's kind of curved around to the west, still on the road, but kind of like right at the edge of, skirting on the edge of the road. What Yoshka may not have seen, but you guys have seen now, is actually just past him is a much larger wolf. Sorry, one sec.
Nice. There it is.
Tonight's second break is brought to you by new barbecue flavored rippling alien meat. Come get your barbecue rippling alien meat in fun sized, ready to go single serving packages for the kids. Stick them in the lunchbox. Barbecue rippling alien meat. Remember, it's got amino acids from out of this world.
It's true. I'm back. So
getting late.
These wolves in front of you, just to give you a sense, in the D&D scale, they're called medium. That's the size of them. But this other wolf is a large creature. It is its back is at the level of the head of these other wolves. This larger, dire wolf is watching over these two smaller wolves. It doesn't seem to be like a mother and child situation. They look like normal wolves in front of you, but this dire wolf is watching over. And to your surprise, you feel the ground shake a little bit. And for some of you, for Yoshka and Belvari and Diamondback, for a moment, you have this glimpse of a giant elk. But you're wrong. It is a guardian wolf, a huge monstrosity, unaligned. It is a wolf the size and fierceness of the elks you encountered before. The underside of its belly is higher than the back of the dire wolf. This is an interesting situation you found yourselves in. They are to the south of you. They don't. The very large creature does not seem to. The huge monstrosity creature does not particularly seem to care about you. It doesn't seem to be noticing you. It seems to be swinging its head around, slowly surveying. But you can just barely see it. It is a silvery kind of silvery white and black. All of these wolves are, which you weren't quite able to make out until Diamondback took his cloak off, and then the light, showed them there. They were sort of camouflaged. Because of this silver, black, white sort of thing, Yoshka, you weren't able to see them. You were seeing in black and white, and they were sort of blending. Diamondback, you just went. Toll, you are next. We're going to stop in just a moment. I'm just letting you know it's 10 o'clock, but we'll stop in a moment. But Toll, you're next.
Yeah, so I don't think Toll wants to get into it with this Russian nesting egg hierarchy of wolves. So he's just going to tiptoe where Yoshka's going. I think he gets the idea that he has somehow communicated with these guys, and we're trying to make peace and be on our way. So he's just going to follow behind him.
Okay. Splint, you're next. The next player will be Belvari. Splint.
All right. Splint is going to... He's going to take a gamble and cast Dancing Lights. Just not... the range of that is, I believe, 60 feet. I'll check. It's 120. So Splint is just going to be following the group, but he's also going to cast Dancing Lights, not to illuminate their path, but as a humanoid figure that's just like sort of, well, actually, yeah, just dancing lights hovering over, illuminating all of the surroundings, making sure that there's no ambush wolves waiting to bite our heads off and stuff.
Mm-hmm. These, you do so, and the two, how high off the ground do you cast this? It creates 4 lights that are approximately torch size that can move around, just to let everybody know.
Yeah. I'll cast them around 10 feet out of the air.
Okay. The 2 wolves that are eating or were eating don't seem to notice or care. It's well above their heads. The other 2 kind of swing their heads and look at these lights and are aware generally of you guys. The medium-sized one was already aware, but the larger one is sort of seeing this happening. They don't seem to be threatened by it. Toll went, Splint went, now Belvari.
Belvari will follow around off to the side.
Following Yoshka?
Yeah.
Okay. Yoshka, your turn. And Neno goes with you, Belvari.
Well, since I see the big wolves now?
You do.
I am just going to keep with Orden on my back, I'm going to be like this, kind of like you know how dogs submissively put their heads down. I'm going to do that and just keep staying off the path and giving them room, trying to pass the big wolves.
I hear a lot of noise from somebody that might be paper or something rustling.
A dog snuffling at the microphone.
It stopped. Maybe it was our dog on Jacob's mic or something.
Yeah, it was probably me. Sorry.
I was thinking it might be Roscoe.
Yeah.
Okay.
That too.
So Belvari, Yoshka, That might be Patrick. That might be coming from your mic. Okay, Yoshka, it's your turn again. You have seen them follow you. Basically, everybody has followed you.
Oh, was what I said not what else?
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
Oh, just I'm going to, as I see the big wolves, I'm gonna like keep in a kind of bowing-ish posture to them, and keep trying to pass the big wolves now, staying off the path at a respectful distance.
Okay.
Is that me?
Might have been.
Yeah, if I'm making an annoying noise, I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't hear any noise on my end. So
Okay. It just sounded like the mic was touching something. I don't know. And I don't know who it was. Okay. Sounds good. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Yes, they don't seem to take notice of you, Yoshka. They don't. The larger ones don't seem to care, and you move past them. They are doing fine. They seem to have the medium-sized one also seems to have heard what you said before, and they're all kind of relatively still. The large one doesn't seem to care at all. I mean, that is to say, not even slightly intimidated. But the medium-sized one and the two small ones are like frozen, kind of wary. These don't seem to be especially intelligent creatures to you. They just seem to be wolves. But you know they're aware. If they think you're threatening, they'll attack. But for right now, they're letting you slide by. We're gonna do one more quick round of this, and then we'll go ahead and call it. It's 10:06. Diamondback, your turn.
I continue following Yoshka next.
All right. Anybody else want to do anything on these? Just keep
Could
following.
Yes, and could I have one of the lights gently lean forward and boop one of the big dogs on the nose?
Like the very big one or the medium size?
The very, very large ones. Just slowly drift forward, quickly go forward and back real quickly, and then drift off.
Let me look at what its wisdom is, or intelligence.
also, are the lights substantive enough? Like, do they have the capability to touch things, or?
I don't think it'll be able to touch them, but it'll be able to.
Yeah.
Give them a small fright.
It's like an illusion.
Yeah.
It's not really there.
Yeah. It's like minor illusion, but with light.
You can move the light 60 feet to a new spot. A light must be within 20 feet of another light created by the spell, or it winks out and is gone.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of move the light towards the larger wolf, the largest wolf. It gets close to it, and the wolf sort of snorts. Let me check its intelligence. It does fine. It sort of snorts and does that thing that dogs do, where it like shakes its fur, almost like it's wet. You know how they kind of go. But it is still. They're letting you pass.
Nice.
You guys continue going along, and these lights follow you. But after several minutes, after several minutes, the wolves are far enough behind you. You suspect they are no longer interested in you. You seem to have avoided that conflict. That's great, or whatever. And the last thing before we finish the evening, you walk on for another 15 minutes, and you hear something. It's sort of like what you heard before, where it's like this noise in the distance, but it's in the canopy somewhere. You've heard it a couple of times, and it kind of is like a rustling in the canopy, almost like wind blowing through the leaves, except it's really localized. It's maybe like a creature, or some creatures are in the canopy above you. Not the great high canopy, the low wood, but it's still 50 feet above you. And it's not directly above you, but like, around. You've heard it a few times over the past hour. And That's all you know. That you hear this sound again, and it is kind of moves surprisingly quickly. It is rustling through, and because you've been hearing it for an hour, either you suppose there are several of these all around, and you're just hearing them, or something's tracking you. You're not quite sure what. That's where we'll stop for tonight.
All right.
Did we get experience at the end of the last one?
You didn't. We had only done that conflict. I gave you all a little bonus experience, but we had done. I said I would give you the experience for the night you spent. I'm going to give you experience now for the things you just did. Let me find your successful encounter with the wolves, and surprisingly quick. I did not expect that to be tonight. That's great. Sorry, I got to find that encounter. Here it is. Okay. I guess I go that button. Give me 1 sec. Sorry. The D&D Beyond tells me how much experience if I have this entered incorrectly in general. And all right. And
While he's doing that, can someone heal me while we're gone?
I don't have any healing spells. Unfortunately.
Can.
I think we do in the party pouch.
Neno would.
All right.
Yeah, we've got healing touch. Oh, no, we don't. Those are 0 number. Okay.
Neno would, but I cannot.
okay.
But we do have healing word. We have the components for healing word.
All right.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
So you each get for those 2 encounters. This is the encounter from last time that we carried over this time, and then the wolf encounter that you just did. You each get a total of 464 experience.
I
can't hear you, Josh.
What up?
Hey, how much does it take to get to level 1?
300. Oh, sorry. Level 1. You start. You're level 1.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm actually level 2 now.
Great.
Because that's nice.
Well, after a long rest.
And our policy is you level during a long rest. Your character's long rest.
Pretty sweet when you don't gotta cut that pie a whole lot away, right?
Yeah.
All right, great game, guys. I have to wake up very early in the morning.
Night.
Yep.
Night, bud.
Adios.
Good night.